All right, let's get right into it. There's this absolutely incredible world hidden right inside your body, a winding, complex pathway that performs a daily miracle we almost never even think about. We're about to go on a journey through one of the most amazing and frankly longest parts of you.
First up, I want you to just think about a number. 20 feet. That's around 6 meters. To give you some perspective, that's longer than most cars and actually taller than a giraffe. It is a truly astonishing length of something.
So the big question is, where on earth are you hiding something that massive? I mean, it's not your arms or your legs. No, it's coiled up, packed away neatly right in your abdomen. We are, of course, talking about the small intestine.
And listen, it's not just long for the sake of it. This thing is the undisputed superstar of your entire digestive system. This is where the two most critical jobs get done. First, breaking down your food into its absolute most basic parts, and then absorbing those parts so your body can actually use them for fuel. So, our journey kicks off right after a meal as that food enters the very first section of the intestine. I want you to think of this area as a super sophisticated chemical processing plant.
Now, this 20-foot journey, it's not just one long uniform tube. Nope, it's actually split into 3 very distinct stages, and each one has its own special job to do. We're going to start in the short but incredibly busy duodenum, then move to the real workhorse, the jejunum, and we'll finish up in the long final stretch, the ileum.
Our first stop is the duodenum. As soon as food, which at this point is an acidic kind of pulpy stuff called chyme, leaves the stomach, it plops right into this short, 25-centimeter section, and the action starts immediately. Okay, so the first challenge it has to deal with is that crazy, intense stomach acid. The duodenum gets right to work, neutralizing it with alkaline mucus. But at the exact same time, it gets flooded with digestive powerhouses, bile from your liver, and this cocktail of enzymes from your pancreas. This is the prep station for literally everything that's about to happen.
And to really get what's happening here chemically, just think of enzymes as molecular scissors. The intestine unleashes its own, and each one has a very specific job. You've got maltase, sucrase, and lactase, which snip apart different sugars. Then there are peptidases that break down proteins, and lipase, which goes to work on the fats. It is a precision chemical disassembly line.
All right, so with our food now broken down into these tiny molecular pieces, we leave the main chemical plant and we enter the longest part of our journey, this vast, vast absorption zone. This, my friends, is where the real magic happens. So you might be wondering, how does a tube absorb so much stuff? Well, here's the secret. It's not a smooth pipe, not even close. It's ingeniously designed to create a massive surface area. First, you've got these large circular folds. Then, covering those folds are millions of tiny finger-like projections called villi. And if you could zoom in even further, you'd see each of those is covered in microscopic microvilli. So what's the result of all this incredible folding and layering? Well, the internal surface area of your small intestine gets cranked up by a staggering 600 times. We're talking about a surface area that's roughly the size of a tennis court, all packed neatly inside of you. It's wild. And this massive, almost velvety surface is the entire point. It's the critical interface where the fuel from your food, we're talking glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, finally crosses over into your bloodstream to power every single cell in your body.
And the system is even smarter than you think. It's not just a free-for-all. Different sections act like specialized loading docks, each designed to pick up specific cargo. The duodenum, for example, is a key spot for absorbing iron. The jejunum is the main hub for most of your carbs, fats, and proteins. And that final section, the ileum, is in charge of grabbing crucial things like vitamin B12 and recycling bile salts for later.
Okay, so we've got the chemistry down, we've got the absorption, but how does everything move along this winding 20-foot path? It's not just a passive tube, you know, it's a very active, muscular organ.
It really uses 2 main movements. The first is called segmentation. You can think of this as a mixing motion, like kneading dough. The intestinal walls constrict and relax to just slosh the contents back and forth, making sure everything gets totally mixed with those digestive enzymes. And then you have peristalsis. This is a powerful wave-like contraction that just steadily pushes the food forward on its journey.
But what's also really fascinating is what happens between meals. When you're fasting, your intestine runs a cleanup cycle. It's called the migrating motor complex.
And it's basically this special wave that sweeps through the entire length, clearing out any leftover food and bacteria to keep the whole system clean and ready for your next meal. It's your body's own built-in housekeeping service.
Now, this system is incredibly resilient, but it's not invincible. And when this really intricate journey gets disrupted, the consequences for the entire body can be pretty serious.
A perfect example of this is celiac disease. Remember those millions of tiny finger-like villi we talked about? The ones that create that massive surface area for absorption? Well, in this condition, the immune system mistakenly attacks and flattens them. And when that absorption surface is damaged, the body just can't get the nutrients it needs. This leads to something called malabsorption, and it can affect everything from your energy levels to your bone health.
So, when you step back and look at it, from the complex chemical breakdown to that massive tennis court-sized absorption surface and all the perfectly coordinated movements, your small intestine is truly a masterpiece of biological engineering. It performs this incredible 20-foot journey flawlessly every single day. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden wonders are at work inside you right now?